The sun was setting over the kingdom, casting a warm orange glow over the streets and homes. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft chirping of birds. In the palace, the emperor was sitting on his throne, looking out the window at the peaceful scene before him. He was a kind and gentle ruler, loved by his people, and he took great care to make sure they were happy and content. The emperor was a tall, slender man with a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye. He had a passion for fine clothes and loved to dress in the most elegant and elaborate garments. His wardrobe was filled with the most beautiful fabrics and colors, and he spent hours each day making sure he looked his absolute best. The emperor's advisors and servants would often remark on his impeccable taste and style, and he would smile and thank them, feeling proud of his appearance. As the emperor sat on his throne, he heard a knock at the door. It was his trusted advisor, a wise and kind old man named Huang. Huang had been with the emperor for many years and was known for his honesty and integrity. "Your Majesty," Huang said, bowing low, "there are 2 travelers at the gate who claim to be the finest weavers in the land. They say they can weave the most beautiful and exquisite fabrics, and they have come to offer their services to you." The emperor's eyes lit up with interest. "Ah, how wonderful," he said, sitting up straight. "I would love to meet these weavers and see their work. Bring them to me at once." Huang bowed and left the room, returning a moment later with the 2 travelers. They were tall, thin men with sly smiles and quick eyes. They bowed low to the emperor and introduced themselves as Franz and Mario. "Your Majesty," Franz said, "we are the finest weavers in the land. We can weave fabrics so fine and delicate that they are almost invisible. But they are also the most beautiful and exquisite, and we are confident that you will be pleased with our work." The emperor's eyes grew wide with excitement as he listened to the weaver's claims. He loved the idea of having the most beautiful and exquisite clothes in the land, and he was eager to see what these weavers could do. The emperor asked Franz and Mario to show him their fabrics, and they smiled and nodded. "We will weave the most beautiful clothes for you, Your Majesty," Mario said. "But first, we must have the finest threads and yarns. We will need the softest silk, the finest wool, and the most delicate cotton. And we will need a room to work in, where we can weave our magic." The emperor nodded, eager to please the weavers. "You shall have everything you need," he said. "I will give you the finest threads and yarns, and a room to work in. I am excited to see what you will create for me." As the emperor spoke, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm golden light over the palace. The air grew quieter, and the birds stopped singing. The emperor felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over him, and he smiled, feeling happy and excited about the new clothes that Franz and Mario would create for him. Little did he know, however, that these 2 weavers had a secret, one that would change everything. The emperor's smile was contagious, and soon everyone in the room was smiling. Franz and Mario bowed again, looking pleased with themselves. Huang, the trusted advisor, stepped forward. "I will show you to your new workshop," he said to the weavers. "It is a lovely room with big windows and a beautiful view of the garden." Franz and Mario followed Huang out of the throne room, chatting excitedly about the fine threads and yarns they would use. As they walked, the sound of their footsteps echoed down the hallway. The emperor watched them go, feeling happy and excited. He loved the idea of having new clothes, and he was eager to see what Franz and Mario would create. The days passed, and the emperor heard nothing from the weavers. He was patient, knowing that creating beautiful fabrics took time. He spent his days attending to his duties, meeting with his advisors, and taking long walks in the garden. The garden was a peaceful place, filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of bees. The emperor felt at peace there, surrounded by nature's beauty. One day, as he was walking along a winding path, he heard the soft sound of a flute. He followed the sound and found a young girl sitting on a bench, playing a beautiful melody. The emperor sat down beside her, listening to the music. The girl looked up and smiled, and the emperor saw that she was holding a small basket of fresh fruit. "Would you like some fruit, Your Majesty?" she asked, offering him a juicy peach. The emperor took the peach, feeling the soft skin and smelling the sweet aroma. He took a bite, and the sweetness exploded in his mouth. "This is delicious," he said, smiling at the girl. "What is your name?" "My name is Ling," the girl replied, smiling back at him. "I am a servant in the palace. I like to play my flute and walk in the garden." The emperor nodded, feeling a sense of connection to the girl. He asked her about her life in the palace, and she told him about her daily tasks and her friends among the servants. As they talked, the emperor felt a sense of calm wash over him. He realized that there was more to life than just fine clothes and beautiful fabrics. As the sun began to set, the emperor stood up, feeling grateful for the chance encounter with Ling. "Thank you for the music and the fruit," he said, smiling at her. "I will have to hear you play again soon." Ling bowed, looking pleased, and the emperor continued his walk, feeling more at peace than he had in days. He thought about Franz and Mario, wondering what they were creating in their workshop. He hoped that their fabrics would be as beautiful as the music he had just heard. As he walked, the sound of the flute faded into the distance, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. The emperor felt his heart grow quieter, his mind more still. He was looking forward to seeing the weaver's creations, but for now, he was content to simply enjoy the peacefulness of the garden. Little did he know, however, that Franz and Mario were not just weaving fabrics, but also spinning a web of deceit, one that would soon entangle the emperor and change everything. The emperor's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of birds singing in the trees. He stopped walking and listened, feeling the music of the birds blend with the memory of Ling's flute. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the emperor breathed deeply, feeling his heart fill with peace. As he stood there, he noticed a small pond in front of him, its surface reflecting the colors of the sky. A few ducks swam quietly in the water, their feathers shining in the fading light. The emperor sat down on a nearby bench, watching the ducks as they glided across the pond. The sound of the water lapping against the shore was soothing, and the emperor felt his eyelids growing heavy. He thought about Ling and her music, and the way the flute had seemed to dance in the air. He thought about Franz and Mario, and the beautiful fabrics they were creating. But most of all, he thought about the peacefulness of the garden, and the way it made him feel. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the emperor stood up, feeling a sense of calm wash over him. He walked slowly back to the palace, his footsteps quiet on the stone path. The air was cool and still, filled with the scent of night-blooming flowers. The emperor felt his heart grow quieter, his mind more still. He thought about the web of deceit that Franz and Mario were spinning, but it seemed distant, unimportant. All that mattered was the peace and quiet of the garden, and the sense of connection he had felt with Ling. As he entered the palace, the emperor was greeted by the soft glow of candles and the gentle hum of conversation. He smiled, feeling a sense of belonging, and made his way to his chambers. The room was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of incense and the soft light of the moon. The emperor sat down on his bed, feeling the softness of the blankets and the gentle give of the mattress. He closed his eyes, listening to the sound of the wind outside, and the quiet rustling of leaves in the garden. The music of the flute seemed to echo in his mind, blending with the sound of the birds and the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. The emperor's breathing slowed, his heart grew quieter, and his mind grew still. He felt himself drifting off to sleep, surrounded by the peacefulness of the garden and the gentle rhythm of the night. The world outside grew quiet, the stars twinkled in the sky, and the emperor slept, his heart filled with peace and his soul at rest. The darkness was soft and deep, like a warm blanket, and the emperor felt himself sinking into its depths, surrounded by the gentle sounds of the night. Everything was quiet, still, and at peace, and the emperor slept, his heart filled with the music of the flute and the gentle beauty of the garden.